Welcome to our teen craft. My name is Hannah. I work for Charlotte County Libraries and History, and today we're going to be making super cute animal pom-poms. So I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to make a pom-pom, and then it's going to be up to you to shape your creature, whatever you may decide to do. You can see both of the ones that I made are pretty much about the same looking, I think, and I was aiming for a cat for this one, and I thought this sort of looked more like a dog, but sort of ambiguous. You can do whatever you want to do. I know that you have wonderful imaginations out there. This craft is part of our Tales and Tales summer reading theme. So I hope you're following along at home with all our summer reading program, which is all going to have to do with animals this summer. Easy, because we all love animals around here. Let me show you what you're gonna get in your kit if you decide to pick up a kit from the library. So we're gonna be giving you 2 different colors of yarn, 2 random colors. So may not necessarily be realistic. You can see today I'm working with blue and white. That'll help create more of an imaginary creature. We've got this thread, which is waxed, which is going to help tie a really tight knot around your yarn. We're going to be giving you a pom-pom tool. So if you're doing this at home without the supplies, with your own supplies rather, you don't need to have this. It just makes it a little bit easier. I've seen videos online and stuff where people can do it with a fork or even just with your fingers. So if you need to look up how to do that, there's certainly other options. We're also going to give you a couple of little button eyes and a nose that you can add to your creature if you like. You're going to need your own scissors and your own glue to glue in the eyes if you decide to use them. I'm going to be using hot glue today, but I think tacky glue would work as well. You're also going to want a garbage can nearby because as you're trimming your yarn, the little pieces of fluff get everywhere. So just to help yourself out later in cleanup time, just work over a garbage can. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in now so you can watch me step by step on how we do this. I hope you guys have a lot of fun, and tune in next time for our next craft, which is going to be animal print mason jars. Okay, let's begin. We're going to start to wrap yarn around our pom-pom maker. So how this thing works is it has 2 pieces. It opens up like this. So each side can be open. Just opens and closes like that. You're going to be wrapping yarn around each of these sides, and then we close it so that it makes a circular shape, and we're going to cut. And then to get the yarn to stick together, we'll wrap it with our thread, and then the 2 pieces come apart so that you can get your pom-pom out. So I'm just going to put that back together and start wrapping. I already know through the magic of editing, I'm probably going to fast forward through the wrapping because it does take a few minutes to get all the yarn wrapped around. So I want my main color to be this white color. So I'm gonna wrap one whole side, which is gonna be like the back of the head, all in white. And then on the second side, I wanna have just that little bit of, in the new example, it's gonna be blue. So just pretend like this white part is blue. So I'm just gonna wrap a little bit of blue around it first and then cover the whole thing up with more white. So that way when we cut it, just a little section is that second color. You can obviously move your second color around anywhere you want. If you didn't want the face to be the second color, you could put it anywhere. All right, here we go. So you just kind of hold your yarn and start wrapping, and then eventually it'll wrap around and hold itself there. Okay, I think that's enough for one side. So I'm just gonna hold it right there and trim. And then you can kind of tuck it into another, under another piece just to hold it until we're ready to cut it off. Okay, so you can see that half is wrapped up, and I'm just gonna close it there and start wrapping the other side. So I'm gonna do that little bit of blue first. Okay. And now I just cover it all up with white and wrap up this whole second side. Now, the pom-pom maker kits that we purchased to give out to you guys came with multiple sizes in the package. So you may be getting bigger or smaller. You can see these two that I made earlier are two different sizes. So this is the biggest size, and I think this is sort of a medium, and there's even a smaller one. So it'll be a mystery what size you get. Okay, that looks pretty good. Actually, you can see, I can tell my second side has more yarn on it than the other side. Okay, now I've got the yarn wrapped. If you have a smaller size pom-pom maker, you obviously won't use as much yarn. I guess you probably could. I mean, there's no rules here, so make it as puffy or not puffy as you want. The next step is to tie off, actually, the next step is to cut around the circle. So as you're wrapping, you don't need to make it too tight. I think the tighter it is, the more difficult it is sort of to cut the yarn. But just go slowly, you'll be able to get it. So if you remember, before we started wrapping, there was two pieces. Each half was, see there's two pieces, one on each side. And we're gonna be sort of cutting into a groove all the way around. So just pretend like you're cutting all the way down the middle of this, but leave it closed while you're doing it. If you had little tiny embroidery scissors or something, it might work better than these, but this is what I've got, so we're going with it. Okay, made it all the way around one side. So we got like a little mohawk going on. Let me do the second half. all the way around now. My hands are tired from trying to use the scissors, so just go slowly. Take a break if you need to take a break. I think that hole between the wrapping and the cutting probably took about 10 minutes or something like that. So, all right, here's our thread. Now we're going to take your piece that you get in your kit, and it's going to go right into that groove all the way around, just like you're flossing. So just pull it in there, wrap it around, and you're going to want to tie a double knot as tightly as you can. And the wax on the thread helps your knot stay better, so it's not like it's coming apart while you're trying to tie it. It stays nice and tight, I think. Just pull it really tight and tie it again so you have a double knot. And I'm gonna, since I have enough, I'm just gonna wrap it back around to the other side and tie another double knot. I don't know that this is necessary, but I really want it to stay. Okay, so now it's tied. So now you can see I can open this up. Here's the thread that was still tied around that I didn't get. Since it was still wrapped around the hoop, the thread is not going to hold it in. Okay, now you pull your two halves apart. Here's your ball. So you can see here's my little puff ball I made. Now you can see there's lots of little threads sticking out randomly. So this is where you're going to go in with your scissors over your garbage can, if you have one that you can use, and trim it so that it's the shape that you want. So you can trim quite a bit and make it like a really dense looking, shorter haired creature. Or you can leave it pretty fluffy. I left this one pretty fluffy, as you can see. This one I trimmed more to make it more of a head shape. I tried to leave around the ears a little bit longer. All right, so let me see if I can go in and shape this. You're also going to cut off your extra waxed thread. Okay, I think I'm happy with how it's trimmed up. I'm sure I'll be continuing to snip a little bit more as we work, but for now we can continue. So now is where we're gonna have to shape what the face and the fur are going to look like. So even though it's probably generally gonna be like the same shape as these other ones that I made, I think I'm gonna attempt to make a bear. So kind of take your fingers, at least this is how I do it. You may have a better method, but I kind of try to group the yarn where I want the ears and other parts of the face that are gonna stick out to sort of make it 3D, you know, like an actual head. And then you're gonna trim where you need it, the hair to be shorter. So right now I'm just continuing to shape what I want the head to look like. I'm cutting at the moment what I am envisioning will be the chin, so I'm holding my animal upside down and just cutting along the chin and the sides of the head to make it a little shorter. Here's all the fluff that I was telling you want to aim for your garbage can. Okay, so right now, that's what I've got. Still looks pretty round, right? But the top is longer than the bottom, so now I'm gonna go right in between the two ears and make that shorter. Okay, so it's somewhat like heart-shaped almost. Might be hard to tell, but we've got short hair up here between the ears. I tried to leave it longer right here so I can make ear shapes. And I'm gonna cut just under the ears and make it shorter. Okay, so right now I'm planning where I wanna put the eyes. I think I'm gonna put them right there, just like I have on my other ones that I made. And I'm gonna try to cut the yarn shorter around those spaces. All right, I forgot to mention earlier when I was describing the tools that we were going to be using. Also in your kit, you're getting a very wicked looking little tool. This is gonna help you felt your yarn. So this is a tool that's really used for another craft, but I saw some people do amazing things when I was learning how to make this. And the only thing is you have to be careful because it's very sharp. This is another reason why this is a teen program, because I don't want anybody to accidentally hurt themselves. So just watch, if you're holding your pom-pom while you're felting, watch that you don't poke all the way through and stab yourself in the finger. You can get a piece of cardboard or foam or something and put it underneath and felt like that, so that if it does make contact under there, it's just cardboard and not your hand. And basically all you do is anywhere where you kind of want to, this makes the yarn like stick to itself, sort of. So I'm gonna start stabbing it in where my eyes are gonna go. And it can kind of help with your shaping. This is totally optional. You do not have to do this. And I'm sure have made it clear that I am not an expert. But I wanted to learn how to do this. And once I tried it, I thought it would be really fun for everybody to get to try it. Okay, so you can see how it's kind of making the shape that I want for my face. So now I'm gonna go take this longer fur that I want the nose to be in and sort of stick this in on each side to make the fur stick up there, the yarn. One of my ears is definitely like nicer than the other ear. But hey, we're not striving for perfection here, right? Okay, I think I'm good enough. I'm at the good enough point. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick my eyes and nose in there and see how that looks. So I'm just gonna poke these in here without glue. And they actually stay pretty well, but if you really want to make sure they're not going, then you're going to use glue. But I just want to poke them in so I can see if I've got the right placement before I put glue. Okay, so that makes it look a lot more like an animal, doesn't it, to have the eyes and nose in there? I don't know. To me, it still looks like maybe a cute little puppy and not a bear, but I'm gonna keep working on it. I would love to see how any of yours turn out. So if you happen to come by Mid-County Library, bring them with you, I wanna see. All right, thanks for going on this journey with me, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.